the topics that we discussed. So, again, good morning, everyone. Welcome again to another session of differential equation. So, as we discussed last week in our face-to-face class, yeah, it's a face-to-face class. We discussed already variable separable, right? So, we have plenty of solutions that we could written for that. But again, let's have more examples for you to really be acquainted with variable separables, since variable separable is the most widely used way of solving differential equation. So even though you will solve other methods, at the end of that method, you will still use variable separable. Okay? So if you could look at your Google Classroom here, so I've posted your mga past discussions. Please watch that one. Then I posted a practice test. Okay. So practice test means you don't need to submit. These are guides and examples that you could try to solve for you to be well acquainted with those topics that we have. So these are available in different sites. So actually you could just key in Google. So obviously everything there. And you just type the topic that we have. Like for example, uh, variable separable examples. Okay. So here there are many sites that you could get. Okay. So here the QMod, the varsity tutors, and etc. Okay. So if you have some, if you have some difficulties in remembering some of your identities or how to solve your integral and differential calculus, you could just key in integral calculator, okay, and then press that one, and then here you could see the integral calculator. So from there, you could just type your equations here, and remember, this one is with respect to if your equation is in variable y, so you could just change those y to x, and after that, the final answer change the variable to another, to its corresponding variable. Same, it's just a variable. Okay. So, or you could try to change this one. I'm sure some of you already know this one. You could actually change these variables. I think when you have examples, when you try to solve it already, like let's say, so what is the integral of this? Diba? After you do the variable separable, you need to do the integral. You could have this answer and show the steps. So, yeah. But this one, we need this one is shortcut. Na siya pinaka-detail dun. When I check those papers, although face-to-face ang exam, so hindi mo makagamit ani. What you can use is only you can only use this one for those na mga in reviewing. Okay, so in the exam, you cannot use this anymore. Okay, so if you forget the differential calculus ninyo, so you type differential calculator. So differential calculator or derivative calculator. Then the same way, they have the same creator. So you could do that one and derive it. Okay? So I've given you to review your previous mathematics because we don't have that luxury of time to review those maths, since if I review all of that step by step, then it will take a year for us to study that one, because again that is two sems for each sem for those each subject. So that's why you need, since you already have background, and I assume you already have, since you already passed the two subjects, then I assume when you see those solutions you could easily understand it. Okay. So now let's proceed. So those websites I've told you, then I think I use this varsity tutors. So I think that's one that I put here. Okay. Let's try to solve problems from this website. So let's try. Okay. The question. What's the question number one? Okay. So from these questions, solve the given differential equations by separation of variables. But mind you guys, when I do this in the exam, I don't t- tell what methods to be used. So you need to open your third eye to know what methods that is readily available to solve that given equation. So in this case, the problem is this. So guess what is the answer? So okay, let's try to solve what is the answer. So let me open my whiteboard and let me write the equation. Okay. The equation is x dy over dx equals 6y. Okay, so that's the equation. Zoom this one. So can you still see my screen, guys? Okay, good. So if you have question, please interrupt me, ha. If you have question, please interrupt me. Okay. Now, so what if the given equation is like this? So, di ba? What we need to do is, excuse me. So, with this given equation, so from here, what we need to do is to separate our x and y. So, therefore, you could do the divide or you could just rearrange the given equation. That is still variable separable, since variable separable is just separating variables, combining all those same variables with its corresponding same differential. So in this case, this is still variable separable, the transferring of the given mga terms. So like for example, x dy equals 6y. I transfer the dx on the other side, di ba? I don't need to divide it, but multiply it by dx. It's still the same, di ba? I just do the direct method, so engineering way. Okay, if I do this like that, divided multiply by dx, it's just an education way. So engineering ways do this. So from here, in this side we have x, in this side we have y. So what we need to do is to transfer this y to other side and transfer the x to the other side. And that means we need to divide x and divide y, di ba? So therefore you have x dy over xy equals 6y dx over xy. In this case, we could eliminate the x. Okay, we can use another color. So this one, so that's clear that it's eliminated. And after that, what remains is dy over y equals 6 dx over x. Okay, so from there, since this is already separated, we could do the integral sign. So this one, obviously, what is the integral of dy over y? Anyone? Ln y. Very good. Ln y. Okay. So here we can move the 6 outside integral sign. Then that is obviously ln x. Then if this one is on the other side, obviously you have plus c. Diba? So if I move this one, this becomes minus equals 0 integral of 0, that is c. So from here, you could have ln y equals ln x raised to the power of 6 plus c. So you could combine this one, or you could have it like this. So if you could see, uh, the answer of this is y cx raised to the power of 6. Meaning, so let's try to make our answer closer to this, diba? In the board exam, you have problems like this. and you have options. And you try your best that your answer will fall within the given choices. So since that is equal to y, so what we need to do is to transfer the ln to the other side. So, or you could minus this one. So let's try first this one. So we have y equals e raised to the power of ln x raised to the power 6 plus c, diba? All of the other side becomes the exponent of our exponential function. So from here, you have another thing you need to remember. So in an exponential function, if the exponent of the exponential is added, therefore it could be transformed like this: e ln x raised to the power of 6 times e raised to the power of c. Although, even though it's like this, diba? So x squared times x squared, diba? It will be x raised to the power of 2 plus 2, right? So it will be x plus 2. So therefore, this one we could change it like this in the rule of algebra, the same as your exponential. Okay? So from there, you could have this one as we could have this one as 1. So we now have y is equals to x raised to the power of 6 e raised to the power of c. But again, remember, the answer is not like this. Since, if you could see, the author is a foreign author. And as told you, foreign authors don't have a value multiplied or a power or exponent to arbitrary constant c. It is treated as just arbitrary c. So, if you can see, there's no e here in the options. Therefore, the the e raised to the power of c are equated to c sub 1 equals e raised to the power of c. Therefore, your y is equivalent to c sub 1 for e raised to the power of c and x raised to the power of 6. Although it is c sub 1, it's still c. So we just represent it so that we will know that this is the second c that holds a raised to the power of c. Therefore, the answer is this. If you could look here, okay, sakto ta? Yeah, we are correct. The answer is this one. So explanation. So mana niyang explanation. So if you follow my steps, what are the explanation? Question. Any questions? None? Wala question? Nasabtan ra, guys? Okay ra. Ano ra man ka? Naka-follow ra man ka? Sir, kung di may maka-follow, sir, I will just watch the video again. Okay? So, guys, we will have our first exam on Thursday. Okay? Mag-exam ta. So, listen carefully, and if your internet is slow, then watch the video that I will be uploading tonight. Okay? I-upload din ako tonight. So, from here, huh? Here we have, okay, that's it, I think. Actually, we could do also the steps that we always do, like for example, ln y, diba? This one, move to the other side minus ln x raised to the power of 6 equals ln c. Pwede na to na siya a ln c, diba? So, since both of the parts are all ln, then you could have ln c. So, this is your another solution. Another solution. So, from here, obviously, you have ln, you have y over x raised to the power of 6 equals ln c. So you have sorry, y over x raised to the power of 6 is equals to e raised to the power of ln c. Therefore, this is 1. We have y equals over x raised to the power of 6 equals c. Therefore, your y is equivalent to c x raised to the power of 6. So, the same. Diba? You could have it this way or this way. So, anything is possible. Just follow the rules of mathematics. Next, let's try another example. Since there's no question, I assume you understand. So, let's continue. So, in this case, the problem is like this. It's still simple. Just it has power. The answer is an exponential function with the power of x with an exponent of 3. Okay? So, ang answer. So, let's try to write that one. Okay? So, second example. So, our second example is dy over dx equals 3x squared y. So, let's try to solve this one. Okay. From here, again, the rule of variable separable is to combine and separate that those variables that is not the same and combine those are the same. So from here, you have dy equals 3x squared y dx. So from there, so this one we have dy, this one we don't have, this one y should be eliminated, right? You have dy over y equals 3x squared dx y over y. So from there, we could eliminate this one. So from here, you have dy over y equals 3x squared dx. Integrate, integrate. Now, we could integrate it as dy, integrate of this one is integral of dy over y is obviously ln y equals 3 x cubed over 3. Integral of x squared is x squared plus 1 over 2 plus 1. Diba? So, plus c. So, from here, we could cancel this out. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So, what remains is ln y equals x cubed plus c. So, from here, you have the option is y, no? Y ang answer. So, therefore, y is equivalent to e raised to the power of x cubed plus c. So, same process, e raised to the power of x cubed times e raised to the power of c. So, since we could, this one and this one is equal, so if you have two terms that is multiplied with a power, the power will be added. So, it's just like this and or this. So, we let c sub 1 is equals to e raised to the power of c. Then, we have the answer of y is equivalent to c sub 1, okay, c sub 1 e raised to the power of x cubed. So let's see if our answer is correct. Yeah. So we have c e raised to the power of x cubed. Any question? Wala gyapon. Believe ako ng mga bata. Nakasabot yun mo. No question? Wala. Okay. So again ako ninyo. If you have no questions, then I'll assume you understand. Then we will proceed. Okay. So for number three, the question is solve for the given differential equation y prime. So where's the y prime equals 5y t raised to the power 4 with an initial value of y0 is equivalent to, okay, we have 3 here. So let's zoom this one. So now, from here, if you have values like this, it means that you are solving initial value problems. Okay, so you will be getting the instead of general solution, you will be getting the particular solution. So you'll be solving. Although in the problem that states there's no specific statement that you need to solve for general solution, but if you have values for x and the other variable, then it is automatically assumed that you are trying to solve for particular solution. And I assume you already understand what is a particular solution. Diba? We discussed that one on the first meeting. So from here, we solve this one. Y prime is equivalent to dy over dx. We've also discussed that one in the previous sessions. So from here, you have 5y t raised to the power 4. So from there, the same process, dy equals 5y t. Oops, that is not x. Since the variable is t, therefore that there are two variables, meaning y and t. So therefore, y and the below variable that caused the change is t. So that's the meaning of this. Y will be changed with the cause. Ang cause, naka-cause sa change is your t. Okay? So, raise to the power of 4 dt. Okay? So, from there, you could divide this one by y. Okay? So, you have dy over y. So, to separate this one, 5y t raised to the power 4 dt divided by y. So, this one will be eliminated. So from there, you have dy over y equivalent to 5t raised to the power 4 dt. And you could integrate this one already. Okay, so the variable separable is done. Let's go to your integral calculus. Okay, integral calculus states that dy over y is equivalent to ln y equals. Integral calculus states in the power rule that any variable raised to the power of having an exponent, then integrated, that will be t raised to the power of that exponent plus 1 will be divided by that exponent plus 1. So that is plus c. So from here, you have ln y equivalent to 5 raised to the power of 5 over 5 plus c. Therefore, you could eliminate the 5 over 5 or equivalent to 1. So now, your solution continues to be ln y equals t raised to the power 5 plus c. So now we could have y equivalent to e raised to the power of t raised to the power 5 plus c. So y is equivalent to e raised to the power of t raised to the power of 5 times e raised to the power of c. So let c sub 1 be equal to e raised to the power of c. Therefore, your y is equivalent to e raised to the power of t5 raised to the t raised to the power of 5 c sub 1. So we have c sub 1 here. But this is not yet our answer since we have our initial value na result. So we need to get our particular solution. Since y will be equal to 3 if your t is equals to 0. So meaning the cause of the change on your y, like this, will depend on the value of your t. So the one that causes the y to change is your t, your denominator. So therefore, this is the value of your t. If your t is 0, your y will be equal to 3. That's the meaning of this, okay? Or it is also equal to this, okay? It's the same. So from here, we just substitute the value of y and t in the given general solution. This is your gen solution. general solution, you just substitute that one. So from that, you have y equals c sub 1 e raised to t raised to the power 5. So you have 3 equals c sub 1 e raised to the power of 0 raised to the power of 5. So we know e raised to the power of 0, 0 raised to the power of 5 is 0. And e raised to the power of 0, that is 1. That is 1. Therefore, your c sub 1 is equivalent to 3. Then, to get the particular solution, you just substitute the value of c sub 1 to your general solution. So your y is equivalent to, your y sub 1 is 3. So you have 3 is e, that's e raised to the power of t raised to the power of 5. So this is your solution that is needed. So see if our answer is correct. Okay, if you could see, yeah, our answer is correct. Y 3 e raised to the power of t raised to the power of 5. Question. What pa question? Okay, padayon na taan eh. Daghan na siya kayong example. So you could review it again if you don't have questions. Or if you have hesitation. Again, wala dyan ko problema. You could ask me questions. Nagawa talo dyan ko ninyo. And mostly, my student having a good grade are those always ask question, even dili na klase, because they are trying to study and asking me questions. Sir, what's the solution for this? Sir, what is this? How do we solve this one? Okay, so that's mostly my student seems they have almost all questions on probable uh, problems that they will be given. They already try to solve it. So if they receive a question on the exam, dili na sila ma-shock. Okay. Okay. This is how you do it. Okay. Tingnan na siya. So let's try to solve this one. So from here, you could see to have a result of this. Okay. So the answer is this one. I think. Yeah, that one. Okay, this one or this one. You could have that one. So let's try. Let's try to solve. If you have no question, let me proceed. My question. So proceed. Although this is just a review, this one is not included sa ako ang gihatag na lesson. So actually, ang pika section gali, wala sila ingani. Kamuray na ingani. It's kiyawa, di bitaw. I'll be sharing this video to them also for them to be ready. But they will also have their exams. But if you ask questions to them, sir, bay, unsay exam ninyo, unsay para makaibaw mi ansira na mo daan. Don't do that since you have your different problems compared to them. So, lahi pa ng problem nila, lahi pa ng problem ninyo. Kaya basin solbo ninyo adto, lahi na itong problem sa inyo ha. Okay, much better pag study na lang mo. Okay, so from here, it's just basically simple. So, dy equals x raised to the power of 8 y dx. After that, basta ang rule lang dyan sa variable separable is just to separate. So, if there's fraction, transfer it to the other side. So, this one is okay. This one, we don't want y. So, divide it y. So, again, I think this is redundant already. 8 y dx over y. So, therefore, we could eliminate the y. And then, now we could integrate dy over y equals x raised to the power of 8 dx. Then integral of dy over y is ln y equals integral of this, that is x raised to the power of 9 over 9 plus c. If you could see the answer, it ends here, but we could make this one further. So y e raised to the power of x 9 over 9, then plus c. And you have y is equals to e raised to the power of x 9 over 9 e raised to power of c. So let c sub 1 be equal to e raised to power of c. So y is equivalent to e raised to power. So you have c sub 1 e raised to power of x raised to power of 9 over 9. Okay, you could have this one or this one because sa iyang case, ang answer niya is just ended there. Okay, so it's just ended there. The correct answer is just ended there. So, but you can still go further like this. And if you can see these problems, just similar with the previous problems that we solved, that their answer ends up here. So that's why if your answer ends up here, that is correct. If you end up here, that is still correct. So it depends on you. Okay. So again, no more questions. Believe ako ninyo, you really understand the topic. Okay. Pero ganos bleed na mo no, sure jud ko. No. Ha? Kaya pa? Or kaya mukat na? Ha? Okay. Kaya pa. Okay, good. Now, now, so actually, daghan yung problem na sa internet. Kaya mo ka. Actually, sa internet, daghan kayong problem. It's just a matter of you studying it. Ya, nabay ako yung mga books na gi-share ninyo. So, daghan mong problems na masuwayan. Here, oh, daghan gani, mga problems ni siya. Kung gusto pa din nyo, naidaghang libro sa, naidaghang kanang website sa MIT, naampo na sila. Ano, tutorial, naapon sila. Tanan, kanang di-discuss na ako, dili na siya basta hasa lang na akong gipangkuha na siya. That's properly representing the differential equation. So, now, let's try to solve this one. So, the way I'm teaching is the same as kana mga foreign na teaching. So, when I started this one, when I was still a student, I try to use Filipino books, but the more you try to solve, the more you appreciate the books from the foreign because they have more cheche boreche na storya. And then if you know how to solve, then you could understand the statements there. And reading is is really good for solving. Okay, you need to read. When I was a student, it's rarely for me to read books, but when I become a teacher, almost all the books that I've shared to you, I've read already page to page. Okay, so as I've told you, almost all the books in the references, I already solved them. So manang kadugayang practice, ano na. If you could see this site, kagabi iran ako nangita ko kung sa example na ako ninyo, I've solved it already po. Gisolve na nako na daan. Okay? So gabi pa na nako gisolve. Gisolve na nako sa to check whether hinumdum pa ko. Gisolve na ako daan basin magkaratol-ratol niya ako, di ba? So gi-check na ako daan. So the same way, I've closed the site and just get the problem and then try to solve. Okay, okay. I can still remember the steps and not the answer. So try your best not to look at the answer, solve it. And if it's wrong, try. And then the more you practice, the more you see that you are getting better. Okay? So next one, dy is equals to e raised to power t plus, sorry, t e plus y dt. The question here is this following differential equation, okay? Again, kini ba daw differential equation is a separable equation? If so, does the equation separate? So, kung separable ni siya, then could you separate it? So, the answer for you, what is the answer of this? Here na naman dahil no? Gitago-taguan ba na ko answer naman the statement. The differential equation is separable. So, kini, separable na siya. Kung saan man siya, sir, separable man na siya. So, this equation is separable. So, if we could recall this one, we could separate this one into two. Diba? So you have dy equals e raised to the power of t times e raised to the power of y dt. Diba? This one and this one is the same. From there, I don't need e raised to the power of y. So therefore, I divide it with e raised to the power of y. Then we have dy over e raised to the power of y equals e raised to the power of t, e raised to the power of y dt over e raised to the power of y. So we could eliminate this one, and what remain is dy over e raised to the power of y equals e raised to the power of t dt. Could you integrate this one? Do you know what is the integral of this? Okay, okay, because there is no integral for this. But if you transform this one as e raised to the power of negative y dy, then we know that there is an integral for e raised to the power of negative y. So, or we can have e raised to the power of negative 2y. Diba? Na may integral ana. So, since is denominator, so reciprocal niya, so mahimo siyang e raised to the power of y with the negative exponent. Diba? So, math, that is your algebra. Okay? When you make this one not a fraction, then the power becomes negative. Okay? So, from there, you can now integrate. So, this one is present in an integral uh, identities. So, what is this integral of this? What is the integral of this? That is, the integral of that is negative e raised to the power of negative y. Okay, giunsa man na. The integral of this, guys, is kung 2y, that is negative 1 over, okay, ngayon na siya. Ngayon nila pala, di mag-ibog. If that is integral, that is 1 over the constant value. Then, copy it, e negative 2y. Therefore, if that is e raised to the power of y, that is 1 over negative 1. That is negative 1, no? E raised to the power of negative y. So therefore, that is the same as negative e raised to the power of y. Okay, that is if integral, ha? Integral. So this is a quick review. If this that is derivative, that is different. So if that is derivative, also if that is derivative, you will do negative 2, then copy this one. Okay? This one, so negative e raised to the power of negative y. So the same siya. Okay? Since 1 raman po na siya. So, kining derivative integral niya, same. Because the constant is 1. But here, and here is not the same. Okay? Obviously, that is not the same. Okay? So, from there, hopefully, that's another quick review of your differential and integral calculus. So, from there, we have, obviously, positive, so plus, so e raised to the power of t, plus c. Yeah, let's do that. So, from there, you have, you combine, okay. We could combine it, okay. We can multiply this one with negative, okay. So, negative, so that these are all negative. So e raised to the power of negative y equals negative e raised to the power of t minus c. So when move this one, e raised to negative y plus e raised to the power of t equals negative c. So from there, you have e raised to the power of negative y or t minus y or negative y plus t equals negative c. So let c sub 1 be equal to negative c. So therefore, final answer is e raised to the power of t minus y equals C sub 1. Okay, although here, the question is just if this is variable separable or not. So, wala man siya wala man siya gipakita o wala man siya gipakita na general solution. So, this one is just showing you ini, how to separate it. If you could see, this is the answer. Okay. So, here we just show the overall solution. So, this is your general solution. Okay. Question. Wala yapay question. Mm. Oh, variable naman na siya. Anang t pwede rin po na x. So it's just that the problem gi-change na siya og variable. Muraragod na kung for example, your name is unsa to yung name nimo dong kay wa ko kakita. Unsa to yung name nimo dong? Oh, for example, Aldrex. For example, I do a raised the power Aldrex. Oh, wala na ba to spelling Drex? Aldrex. So when you integrate this one, it's just the same as, or if you want to put 2, integrate 2 Aldrich, so it will just be 1 half e raised to the power of 2 Aldrich. Same, it's just a constant variable. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, with regards to any variable na mauna siya, the process will not change. Okay? No more questions? So, yeah, let's proceed with this one. This one is, it's the following differential equation separable. If so, does the equation separate? So this one obviously is not a variable separable. Since when you transfer, so let's show you. Oops, wrong. Since if that is this 5 already, I forgot. So if this y prime equals 3 cosine of p and y, so this one is dy. The cost of change is your dt equals 3 cosine p of y. This one is not separable since this one you could not. This is a double angle, so yeah, this one you cannot separate this one. You cannot make it cosine t times cosine y. This is dili nimo ni ma-separate into two. So therefore this is not a variable separable. So this is not variable separable. Explanation here is separable. Kaya na, kung for example, buhaton nimo na different like this and this. So obviously the answer is not separable since this equation is you cannot separate it into two. So dili man nimo na siya, wala may pamaagi ana. So kung ma-separate man gali nimo na, so pag solve nimo di gyapon siya ma-variable separable. Okay, sa laing method gyapon ang gamiton. Okay. So in this case, di siya pwede variable separable. So sa mga previous na mga next or not previous, the next mga topics nato siya, ay na po ang gamiton nato. Okay? So proceed. So this one, the same, easy. So I think na-solve na nato. So di ba, na-solve na nato. Okay. So kini. Eh, kini ang given, mo ni ang answer. Pili ani, asa ang answer ani. So ang option is kung mag-board exam mo, mo ni ang mga question, solve the following initial value problem. Initial value problem, pasabot na siya yung mga value, initial value. Meaning, you solve for particular solution. So, the same lang na siya kung namoy masolve na problem, solve for initial value problem. Meaning, you are trying to solve for particular solution. Okay? Ayaw mo ka-confuse. So, pareha lang na siya. So, 6. So, solve for 6y prime equals y raised to the power 4. sine of t with initial value of y is equals to 0 equals to 1. So from there, we solve. So this is 6 dy. Okay, another pares sa y is t. So that is dt equals. Actually, pwede gali, dili y ni siya. Butangan ako niya siya og z. Pwede ra pod. So, the same pamagi lang yapon. So, from here, copy y raised to the power 4 sine of t. Okay. So, from there, 6 dy equals y raised to the power 4 sine t dt. So, from here, okay. From here, we don't want y raised to the power of 4. So, we divide 6 dy over y raised to the power 4 equals y raised to the power 4 sine of t dt over y raised to the power 4. So we could eliminate this one, y raised to the power 4, and we will be remain with 6 dy over y raised to the power 4 equals, so we could now integrate, equals sine of t dt. Okay, what is the integral of this? Dy over y raised to the power 4. Naman. Anyone? ln to the 4th. Let's try. So, end daw na to. So, from here, this one, the rule in the ln is just du over u equals ln u. So, there's no statement that state that du over u raised to the power of n is equals to ln u raised to the power of n. So, wala ni siya identity. So, let's check if maubagya hapon. Okay. So, here, you could transform this one as y raised to the power of negative 4 dy. Diba? Because there's no identity stating this one. So, equals integral of sine of t dt. So, from there, from there, you could have, oh, sorry. Okay, from here, you could have c. So, what is the integral of y raised to the power negative 4? Negative 1. Negative 1. Y raised to the power of negative 4, that is y raised to the power of negative 3 over negative 3. Okay. Why is that? So that is because you have y raised to the power of 4 plus 1. Diba? Plus 1, no? Negative 4 plus 1. That is the integral. Diba? If this is positive, plus 1 man gihapon, no? So equals integral of sine. What is the integral of sine? Negative, positive. Negative. Negative. Cosine t plus c. Remember, okay? Remember, derivative of sine is cosine. Therefore, we've known that integral is opposite of differential and vice versa. Therefore, if you integrate derivative of sine, that is cosine. Therefore, if you integrate sine, that is negative cosine. So if derivative of cosine is negative sine, therefore the integral of cosine is equal to sine. That is opposite. Okay? Actually, you just remember one of it and everything will follow. So, derivative of sine is cosine. Marodyo na itiman ana o ano na. Derivative of sine is cosine. So, pag integrate na ko ang sine, mabali na siya. Then, opposite na po sila. So, ang cosine na po, ang i-derive na to, negative na po na sine. Okay? So, you could browse your identities. Okay? Katong mga previous topics ninyo. Or you could search on the internet. So, if I could have here. So, you could do the integral calculator. So, integral of sine. Uh, to prove my claim. So, that is integral of sine, let's say x lang. Kay x maning, ano no, answer is negative cosine x. Okay? So, let's continue. So, from there, you have 6 times y raised to the power of negative 3. Negative 4 plus 1, that is negative 3 over negative 3. So, equals uh, negative cosine p plus c. So, here, we could do this one. 6 divided by 3, that is negative 2 y raised to the power of 3 equals negative cosine t plus c. Okay. So from here, you could have, again, plenty of many other solutions. Okay. So you have an infinite, hmm, could we say infinite? Yeah, maybe we could say infinite or more another solution. So from here, okay, so in this case, in, it's solved for y. No? Y is equal to y is equal. So we could rearrange this one as y negative 3 equals, so divide 2, negative cosine t divided by 2 minus c over 2. From there, we could let c sub 1 equals negative c over 2. Pwede na to pasawon sa c sub 1 para hindi fraction siya. So you have y negative 3 equals negative cosine t over 2 plus, so c sub 1 na. C sub 1. Kaya kung substitute ni c sub 1, negative c over 2 man. So therefore, your y, since this one is negative, di ba? Negative, yeah. We could have, ano, we could have it as negative cube root of negative cosine t over 2 plus c sub 1. Or this is just equal to, if you have this one, okay, this one you could have, since this is reciprocal, so you could have this one as y is equivalent to negative cosine t over 2 plus c sub 1 raised to the power of negative 1 over 3. So, c sub 1. Okay? Now, remember that our given equation, okay, okay. Remember that our given equation is with initial value problem of y 0 equals 1. Therefore, y is equals to 1, when y is equals to 0 when y is equals to 1 when t is equals to 0. So if t is 0, the value of y will be 1. So from there we substitute. So your y equals negative cosine t over 2 plus c sub 1 negative 1/3. So from there y is equals to mhm, ah sorry, substitute na data. Oops. Okay. So y is 1 equals negative cosine, what is your t? That is 0 over 2 plus c sub 1 raised to the power of negative 1/3. Okay. Okay. So from there, what will we do? So from here, what is cosine 0? Guys, what is cosine 0? Anyone? Negative cosine, what is that equivalent to? So cosine 0 is 1 since you have negative here, so it becomes negative 1. So to check cosine 0, okay, the answer is 1. Alright? So it becomes like this. 1 equals negative cosine 0 is 1. So cosine 0 is 1 over 2 plus c sub 1 negative 1/3. So karon, we could, okay, so to simplify it further, we could cube both sides, di ba? Negative. Okay. Yeah, we could do, yeah, we could do that one. So we have negative 1 raised to the power of negative 3 equals negative 1 half. This one becomes 3 over 3, that is 1. So plus c sub 1. So may ngana na lang na siya. Or para di mo maglibog, yan ako na to. So negative 1/3 times. So yun ay makancel out na siya. So 1 negative 3 equals, so if you 1 raised to the power of negative 3, the answer is still 1. Okay? Still 1. So copy sa nato plus c sub 1. So this one is 1. Oh, according to here, you have 1 half plus c sub 1. We are solving particular solution or initial value problem. That's why it takes us a bit longer. So from there, we have 1 equal, wait, it should not be. Wait a minute. Let's check this one. Okay, ngayon na negative. Yeah. So from here, this should this should be negative, right? So negative of cosine over negative of 2. So this should now be positive. So 1/3 ref. Okay. So this should be positive. I need to erase this one. Oops. Oh my god. This should be like that. Nagets ninyong anong na gi-delete to nako. Nakuha ninyong anong gi-delete to nako, guys? Sure. So the reason why I delete the negative here is that positive. Okay. So we missed that one. That's why when I solved here, so lahi siya. So from there you have 1 minus 1/2. Therefore, c sub 1 is 1/2. Okay. C sub 1 will be equal to 1/2. So from there, we try to get where's the general solution. I think this is the general solution. So just substitute y equals cosine t over 2 plus c sub 1 that is 1/2 raised to the power of negative 1/3. Or we could transform this one. Yeah, this one is already correct. To fit it with this answer, diba? To fit it with this answer, we could transform this one to this. Y equals, since since they both have same denominator, we have 2 cosine t plus 1 raised to the power of negative 1/3. Then since they are added, so you could rearrange that one to 1 minus 1 plus cosine t over 2 raised to the power of negative 1/3. So any of this, if you would see this one plus cosine t over 2 1/3. Okay, or you could have this one, so it is interchangeable since the signs are all positive. Okay, so hope ano ha nakasabot na. But don't worry, if namoy questions, please free to chat me sa group ba or kung mauwa mo, i-PM lang. Pero mas better kung group kay at least ang uban maka-aware po sa among concern para kas-aran ako tubag kay namanggoy uban nga ang question sa usa pareha ra sa question sa uban so kapila na ako tubagon. So mas better kung kasahon nato. Okay, another example. Okay, oops, that's the last one. So we already solved the problem in the whole website. So let's try another one. So let's pila na ba ni? 7 ba ni? 6? Repot na ko. So we have 1/2, 1/2 dy over dx equals square root of y plus 1 cosine of x, where the initial value or y of pi is equals to 0. Meaning, x man siya, no? X will be the cost of change. If x is equal to pi, y will be equal to 0. So, if you could look here, is the problem hard? Yes or no? Yes, for a reason nga, no? Sir na square root, sir na ay cosine, lisod na siya. But again, ayaw mo pa ba raw? Actually, the problem is so easy. Wow, si Sir Manggod Gasol, kaya mo ng easy. Di bitaw. So, you could rewrite this one to make it more easier for you. So, what we'll do, like this. 1/2 dy over dx equals, we could rewrite this one, di ba? So, square root becomes exponent nga 1/2, di ba? Y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2. 1/2 cosine of x. So, we can transform it like that. Para hindi mo kayo confusing, sir. Nosebleed man si square root. Sir. Makita lang ako square root sa una, lisod naman. Okay, so don't be confused. So, with this, I think it's much better. So, after that, you do transposing it. So, 1/2 of that. So, yeah, we could do this. Then we have 1/2. We could transfer this dx to other side. So we have 1/2 dy equals y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2 cosine x then dx. Now, since here this one is okay, this one we don't need this one since the differential is dx. So we divide both sides with y, sorry, y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2 or square root of y plus 1. Pwede rin na siya. Pareha lang man na. So, para lang di siya confusing o pag mag-integrate whew, pa, pakapaningot man ng integral of square root. Okay? So, pareha ra din na siya ani. So, from there, we could divide it. So, we have 1/2, 1/2 no? 1/2 given, yeah. 1/2 dy, oops, where's it? Divided by, y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2. So, equals y, oops, plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2 cosine x dx over y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2. So, plainly, we just cancel this one and then oops, and then what remains is this one. This could be like this, or we could have it like 1/2 or dy over 2, di ba? Dy over 2 multiplied by, so when you transfer it to the numerator, or transfer it, it could be 1 over y, oops, y plus 1 raised to the power of 1/2 equals cosine x dx. Now, what we need to do is just to combine this and then we try our integration. Diba? We could have 1/2. Diba? Get the 1/2. Then you have dy over y plus 1 1/2. Diba? Then you could integrate it na lang nato. Let's delete this one. Okay. Integral of this. Since we have 1/2 here, dy over this, dy times 1, that is dy, over this equals integral of cosine x dx. So now, what we need to do is to integrate this one. So how will we integrate it? Kung saan man nato pag-integrate. How will we integrate the differential equation? So how will we integrate this one? The first one. So we could actually try, let's try this one, this method. We could change this one as 1/2 integral of y plus 1 raised to the power of negative 1/2, right? dy equals integral of cosine x dx. Okay, so I think this is more manageable. Sorry for that. So I think this is more manageable. So from here, you can now integrate this one by having your u as y plus 1, right? So derive that one, you have derivative of y, that is dy. Derivative of 1 is 0. So therefore, it becomes like that. So from here, you just substitute it. 1/2 integral of y plus 1, that is u, raised to the power of negative 1/2, diba? Your dy is equal to du. So I think this one is much easier to integrate rather than doing this one, diba? You can have that one equals, oops, oh, what did I? So where's my pen? Where's my pen? Okay. Equals integral of cosine x dx. So from there, you can now integrate this easily. So you have 1/2 integral of this, that is, what is integral of ha u, sorry, negative 1/2 plus 1 over negative 1/2 plus 1. Good. So, anong maway man? Okay, sorry. U, negative 1/2 plus 1 over negative 1/2 plus 1. Diba? So, lisod na din ni siya tanawon. Actually, this one, igo lang nato gi-separate. After that, once naingani na siya, let's do the process of integral calculus. So, integral calculus, para since there's no identity that states that you could integrate it like this, so you try other methods. So, ang pinaka-common is power rule, logarithmic, atong ln, o ni usually. So, u na ka. So, kung i-derive nimo ni, ang dy nimo daan is balance naman. So, ano yung pinaka ano? So, equals, okay, integral of cosine, integral of cosine, derivative of sine equals cosine. So, derivative of cosine is equal to negative sine. Ano kung sa man akong ballpen? So, integral of sine is equal negative cosine. So, therefore, integral of cosine is sine. Very good. So, muna siya i-hint ninyo. Okay? Pero kung naa na siya kanang 2x, i-derive una ninyo tong 2x. Okay? Or mga value within the cosine. Then, after that, mura na pug ingani. Kuan sa nimo ang u, derive nimo. Once that one, i-substitute nimo ang value. Then, do the same process. Then, balik na pud substitute. Equals sine x plus c. Since naman tayo 0 na integrate. So, from there, just do the simple mathematics. We have u raised to the power of 1/2 over 1/2, diba? Negative 1/2 over 1/2. So, therefore, 1/2, this one 1/2 divided by 1/2. That basically is pila man. So, this one is answered. Okay? Equals sine x plus c. So, therefore, what remains is u raised to the power of 1/2 equals sine x plus c. So, unsa may u na to? Remember? Kini. So, ana na nato ibutang si y plus 1 raised to the power 1 half equals sine x plus c. Okay? So, after that, sa paman. Okay. So, let's try to make it y. So, y plus 1 equals, actually, this one is already enough. Pwede na na siya. Pwede ra pod, inganion ninyo. So, since kana siya, so, 1 half. So, therefore, you could have sine x plus c raised to the power of, so pwede na nimo raised to the power of 2 para ang all sides. So kini mahimo na lang ingani, kini tanan mahimo raised to the power of 2. Okay, both sides. Then after that, y is equivalent to sine x plus c squared minus 1. So you could have this one. I think the answer is this one man pod. So from there, you could now get our initial value problem, that is initial y is equals to 0 is equals to 1 manata. Let's check. Ay, pi die, sorry. It's y of pi equals to 0 then, sorry. Y of pi. Anong sa maning ballpen ako? Naglugos na mag-agi. Okay, nahurot nag-ink. Okay. So from there, just substitute. Therefore, your y is equals to 0 if your x is equal to pi. Oh, no, sa maning pen ako nga. Okay. So from there, you have y equals, oh, no. Yeah, just copy first. Sine x plus c squared minus 1. From there, that is 0. Sine x is pi plus c minus 1. What is sine pi? 0. Let's check. This is my calculator. Sine pi. So, pi lang yung ano eh. Okay, sine pi is 0. In radian ha. Radian man siya. Okay, sine man. So, sine 0 is, answer is 0. So, correct. So, sorry di ko kakita kung sa toning tubag ha kay natabunan akong screen. So, good job. So, from here, you have 0 equals 0 plus c minus 1. Okay, sorry, that is squared pa the squared. Squared. Okay. So, from there, you have may nabilit 0 equals c squared minus 1. So you have c squared equals 1. Balhin nato pikas, ma-positive. So c is equals to square root of 1, where c is still equal to 1. So just substitute it. So y, ang general solution is y sine x plus c is 1 squared minus 1. So therefore, this is your answer for the initial value problem, which is our particular solution. Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's try to see if correct. Kasi nga buot-buot pa tapos wrong di ay. The answer is yes. So y sine x plus 1 squared minus 1. So we have a correct answer. And I think that will end all the problems in the variable separable for the varsity tutors na website. And you could look more. There are many more and try to solve it. Try to understand. Because here, if you could see, ang iyahang, where's my mouse? So if you could see, on this part sa atong website, it only has the not clear or detailed solution. Statement lang na siya. Manigingon ako, if the authors are foreign, they will not put all the solutions. So that's why, in my case, for you, since you're still student, for you to clearly understand the lesson, so that's the role of the teacher. Okay? So, wala niya gipakita na step by step. Okay? So, I think that's all. Do you have any questions? Video. What do you mean equation? Kining problem? Nakapost na. Okay na. Kini nakapost na practice test. Nana, posted na siya. Video lagi. Kining video. Oh, recorded video. Oh, kini mga class discussions. Sige naman kog post. Kini last discussion sa una. So, post ko. Okay? So, ingana. Oh, i-post lang na nako. Kunya, kung namoy pangutana sa atong mga lessons pod, the video. Ana siya. Specific na siya sa atong lessons. Kini. Pag-solve man po ni. Okay? So, if you don't have question, I think I need to say goodbye since I still have something to do. Okay? So, and everyone, we will have our exam on Thursday. Okay? Please tell everyone to be there. Okay? So, try your best na again, if the total points is 100, the passing is 75. That is 3.0. Okay? So, dili lang basta mag-submit. Okay? So, tuon jud. So, karon ugma, kung pangita na mo study buddies ninyo, okay? Na makagiya-giya ninyo. Tuon jud. Mag lisod sulong sa exam nato o di magtuon. Okay? Mao jud na suggestion ako. Okay? No more questions. I will end the class. Okay? Bye class.